I've been wanting to make a documentary, and I hope I can keep making some and filming information about plants and landscapes and the importance of them. This is just a typical farm. It's actually in a very good area, so no frost and high rainfall, and plenty of cooler conditions from being closer to the ocean. So working on the principle that plants attract rain because they're actually storage banks for chemicals, which is your 16 or so major and minor elements that make up plants, which is Chopkin's Cafe, mighty good, not always clean, come on cuz my boy. So carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, potassium, nitrogen, sulfur, calcium, iron, etc. Yeah, so just filming this, and the rainfall is high here, and it could be because we're closer to the ocean, but also that there is a lot of foliage cover in this area, so lots of state forests and lots of plants. Yeah, so you can see early settlers actually took away a lot of the trees in order for cattle to graze, as they've done in America also. And what has happened is, because there's no plants able to take up the nutrients and the water all run off. And down here we've got a little water place here, which is fine, but then it seeps across from there, and it's actually pooling down there, and apparently that soil down there is iron sulfate or something. So this is typical in a lot of areas where you get iron sulfate soils, or out west you get the acid sulfate. And what it means is that there's a lot of iron left in the soils, and it mixes with the water and rises, or something like that, and then the soil becomes hard, to plant anything in. So this area is really good to film because out along the creek we have the riparian zones, and I think this is what I wanted to show farmers. That riparian zone is it's not too extensive, but there is one, and hopefully in the future, when this area gets developed more, they will put in more plants as borders and build up the plant life on this property. But the riparian zones are essential to good clear water, and mainly to water supply. So you start removing them and you really get into difficulty, because you get all the nutrients running off down and then straight into your creek beds. So the riparian zone here is terrific, and riparian zones should be everywhere where there are creeks or any kind of water supply. For many reasons. They shade and cool the water, they supply insects and twigs and leaves for shelter for fish to live in. They keep the pH down, and pH levels good, and so yeah.